This is the wonderful architecture of the Tokyo International Forum, and we are here at the 2009 plenary meeting of TC176, the ISO Technical Committee responsible for the development of the ISO 9000 series of standards. My name's Nigel Croft, and it's been my privilege to represent Brazil on TC176 for the last 15 years. Now, Tokyo was also the venue 24 years ago for Dr. John Davies' first meeting as chairman of TC176 SC2, which is the subcommittee responsible for producing the flagship ISO 9001 and 9004 standards. As Dr. Davies steps down from the chairmanship in 2009, it's probably quite appropriate that the upcoming revision of ISO 9004 refers to managing for sustained success. We've certainly had a true example of that in Dr. Davies' 24 years at the helm. So it's my great privilege to interview Dr. Davies on behalf of Sustainable Success Alert and also particularly on behalf of Paul Chicatano, who couldn't be with us here this week. Paul sends his best regards, John, and as John knows, he often reflects very, very fondly on your first interactions in Durban, South Africa over 15 years ago. So tell me, back in 1985 when you became chairman of Subcommittee 2, did you ever expect the ISO 9000 series to become the phenomenon that it is today?
I came there with high expectation. The reason being was that I was the past chairman of the BSI committee that produced 5750,
right.
750, the national standard on quality management system, and that had been very, very successful in the UK. I was looking forward to trying now to replicate that on an international level. Yes, I came with expectations.
Did you imagine that we'd have somewhere in the region of 1 million certificates worldwide today?
Not that figure, but yes, I was looking for 60,000 or 600,000 maybe.
Right.
But no,
right.
Yes, it's been phenomenal.
So tell me, how much of a role does the chairman of SC2 actually play in shaping the direction of the ISO 9000 series?
A lot depends on your personality. Now, I have to claim that I'm a shy man, and I listen and listen and listen, and when I get the message as to what is required, I will come. And then it changes. I become an encourager. I try and encourage people that are motivated to get the thing out. Excellent. Yes.
Well, certainly I've met a lot of people this week that you've been very successfully motivating over these years, John. So if we look back on this long association that you have with the ISO 9000 standards development process, what would you say are your most memorable moments, both professionally and personally?
There are two, I think, that I would claim for, and I received a telephone call from the then chairman of TC176, Ray Shaughnessy, who lived in Canada, right. And there was a one-day meeting in Geneva, and Ray asked me would I stand in as his representative on behalf of TC176. So I went along to the meeting, and I was really delighted when I went into the door to see the chairman of Casco there, John Ware, BSI, old friend of mine.
Right.
Well, the three of us sat down and we chatted and we chatted and we chatted. And the question was, well, what are we going to do? The standards are published. What's the next step? What's the next step? And between our dialoguing together, it transpired that there was a need for communication.
Right.
And we created, from that meeting, the ISO 9000 magazine. And that was a good success. And today, of course, it's now Quality Management Systems.
Right.
And yes, it's there. And if you look at the cover there,
the chairs of TC176 and Sky High, yeah.
The second one, this was really a very, very good move. We created what became known as the ISO 9000 Forum. The forum was based on TC176, and we undertook in that committee to make available experts to go to symposia, to lecture, to teach around them. So the national member standards bodies were encouraged to run symposia, to run annual quality congresses and what have you, and we would support them with experts to run a program. And I have to confess that I've visited nearly over 100 countries as a result of the ISO 9004. I am very, very proud of that, actually.
Right, and I've heard you say many times, John, that we're criticised as being the international sightseeing organisation, but that normally comes around after we've spent the whole week inside the meetings rooms and so on.
No, that was very successful, the forum.
You must have seen a lot of changes over the last 25 years in the way we actually develop and produce the standards. Maybe you could comment on that.
Well, I have to go back to my very early days, actually, when, of course, they didn't produce standards. They produced recommendations. And the system was very much the same. You gather together representatives of the various national standards bodies, and you have a meeting, you run it on a committee basis, and the end product was a recommendation. The recommendation was to the national standards bodies to implement it into their own national system. Didn't get the control as much as one would like, because they put their own variation into it too. Obviously the language was one of the things we were there. So, no, that was there. But there's no doubt about it. The consensus opinion has been monetarily managed in the committee, and of course the advent with email, computers, and well, that's a big change.
Right.
I regret very much, of course, I lost my pending tray. That's the thing of the class, it was an excuse. You could toss it in the pending tray until you got the answer.
And in those days, in some cases, I think you had more time to think about things.
Think about things, yeah. Yes, definitely.
What do you see today as the greatest threat to the continued acceptance of ISO 9001?
I can't see anything really apparent, but if there was a situation that affected the certification registration system, when that starts failing, I think that would be the first one. But all the time, it's a growth situation. Developing countries are coming in every day, every week.
Right.
So at this stage I can't see it, but when it does, I think it'll come from the quality certification side of that area.
Right. The actual implementation rather than the standards development itself.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe you could comment a little bit as well about the steps that you've taken and TC 176 has taken to promote a better alignment between the quality management system and the other management system standards. I know there's been a lot of collaborative effort with TC 207 on that.
Well, this is the only one really, and when you've got two people, it's very difficult to get a balance.
Yes.
You've got the balance, the proper balance, but trying to get the third or fourth or fifth management system into operation, then of course you can do it. Now there's, I've recently set up a TAG, Technical Advisory Group, and it comes under the situation of these are the new.
Oh right, so we've got shipbuilding, security in the supply chain, food safety, road traffic, energy, social responsibility, which is not exactly a management system, but I think it's important to have them on board. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of players. I think TC 176 took the lead on this 30 years ago, or I guess it's 30 years that the TC 176 first started meeting. Final question, John. If you had another 25 years as chairman of SC2 in front of you, what would you like to see happen?
Another standard, another ISO 1000, because it has been phenomenal. It's been a great privilege to lead that.
And I think on behalf of all my colleagues here at TC 176 SC2, we would say it's been a great privilege working with you, John, and on behalf of Sustainable Success Alert and all of us here, we really do wish you and your wife Phil every success and happiness in what we hope will be a long and healthy retirement. Thank you very much, and congratulations for everything you've done.
Regards to Paul.
I certainly will. Thank you.